And every time I will think of that question, I will think of mine. And I don't know why.
Welcome to This.is.life.Podcast, where we get to listen,
Relate,
learn,
and love.
Now, in the previous episode, you got to know who Alice is. Now, in this episode, we will get to know more about Mark. He will tell us who he is, and we hope you'll listen, we hope you relate, we hope you learn, and definitely laugh. Mark, tell us who you are. Tell us why HE before Okeri in your status about.
I've been waiting for this episode for us to shoot this episode for a while now.
Okay.
Mark, or rather HE, it isn't. That's a future. It's a future ambition that I'd like to pursue. But simply, Mark is a firstborn. Is a firstborn child of
right.
three. Of three. Mm-hmm. Followed by two sisters. So I have twins. They're twins. And I was born in the 18th January of 2004 in Nakuru, a place called Free Area.
All right.
Yeah, and
did you get to know why it's called Free Area or something?
No. I usually tend to believe that it's called Free Area because maybe people around the place live in a free state. They're in a free state of mind. But I've never really actually got to think about it. Yeah, but I think that's
about your childhood. How does it feel being a firstborn of twins? And perhaps do you wish you also had a twin?
It's a burden. Okay, being a firstborn, of course, I tend to believe at times it's like a blessing, but also at the same time it becomes a lot of responsibilities weigh on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Bearing them in mind that you are the guide of the siblings, and at the same time you are close to the parents. So if maybe the parents have an issue or something, the first person to approach the family can either be the firstborn, and maybe in terms of making decision, you're also involved.
Yeah.
So
there are a lot of responsibilities, and the fact that you are an anchor.
Yeah. And I remember when I was young, we were planning on family. So there was this. You have a brother, you have a sister. So at that moment, I didn't have any sibling. So I remember going to my dad and asking him, "Dad, when will I have a brother or a sister? I want a brother or a sister." So he laughed and he kind of pushed it out of his mind.
Yes.
But who knew? Maybe 5 years or 6 years later, I was blessed with the twins. So maybe I often tend to think it's out of the question I asked. I don't know. But I really felt comfortable being the only child, because also it also comes with a lot of plenties. Being an only child.
Yeah.
You're close to the parents. Whatever you ask for is given to you.
Yes.
But all that was taken away. But that was on a light note.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you've already told us your experience being a deputy parent. Now, tell us about your schooling. We could start with primary, a few highlights maybe, fun moments, challenges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, let me just say, I'm a big fan of the British accent. So maybe in between if you hear me using a British accent, please pardon.
All right.
Please pardon me.
We're so
I guess we can start from now. So I'll just point out a little bit about my primary school. It was fun, but I really can't. It's a bit blurry. So maybe I'll just pick a few moments in which I had in primary. In primary, that was when I met a good friend of mine, who later on became more family. We used to when we were young, when we were around class 3, we used to share snacks. That was when we used to carry snacks to school. So we used to share snacks all the time. We used to laugh. We used to enjoy our moment being together. His name was Collins. And till to date, we are still friends. So I think that dates to around 17 years of, more than 10 years of friendship.
Yes.
And funny thing is that in between, as I was growing, I don't know whether it's destiny or fate that always brought us together.
Yes.
But something just happens until maybe we could just connect back again. And yeah, and also in primary school, that was where I made, what can I say? It was, that was when maybe I started to love.
Mm-hmm. Tell us more.
Actually, she was a good friend of Collins and I.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to tease each other between Collins and I. We used to tease each other on who will have this particular chile.
Mm-hmm.
So, and how we will maybe entice her
Yes.
to either of our side was by carrying a lot of snacks and make sure that when classes end, when we wait for the bus to come and pick us up, we used to ensure that I was the first person to get her.
Yes.
And take her to the field and have a sort of picnic with her. So, yeah, I don't know.
Your conquering tactics started way back.
Yes. So I guess gentlemen need to be very, yeah. So yeah. So I guess I don't know whether I can say that was my first love, and I don't know, but that was just the childhood love of it.
That's interesting because not most people will term that as love, but the fact that as early as that age you got to have some affection towards somebody.
Yes, exactly, affection,
and also your friendship. I think you must be a good friend because meeting Collins 17 years ago and you're still friends today.
Yeah,
that shows that, do they say for keeps?
Yes.
And
friends for keeps.
Yeah, friends for keeps. In which school did you meet?
So that was in St. Francis of Assisi. It's in Nakuru also, and yes, that's when we met with Collins. So fast forward, we parted ways.
Yeah.
That was when we left St. Francis. He went to another school, then I went to another school. I went to a school called Baraka Boys, Baraka meaning blessings. And so that I joined in class 4. And that was when I joined boarding, as early as 10. So I really wanted to go to boarding school.
Mm-hmm.
I really felt like I needed some sort of independence. So when I got it, I actually fumbled on the first day by crying. When my parents left, then on that particular night, when I slid into my blankets, I literally cried because I was having homesick. I was homesick.
How old were you then? 12?
10.
10?
Yeah.
10 is quite young.
Yeah.
My brother is 10.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine him going to boarding.
And imagine that that's bit of separation.
Yes.
From the parent of the child.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. that happened, and I got into boarding school. But along the way, I was able to cope up with the situation, but in boarding school, and that was whereby maybe I was able to build part of my social life. And maybe let me just take it back a little to nursery school. I was a good performer in nursery school.
Yeah.
And I met a friend of mine a while back, just recently, and she reminded me of how during those particular assemblies when I was in nursery, how I used to walk with a lot of pride when I would hear my name being mentioned in front of the whole assembly. The parents are there. She told me that I would walk with my shoulders high and just make my way majestically all the way to the podium. So I also took that from nursery to primary school. So that bit of feeling of I'm a good performer. So I really felt that I should carry it on also to Baraka Boys. And yes.
Did you?
Yes, I did. So getting to class 4, I remember after the first term, I really put my best to it. And that's when I now started to be able to pick up on how I can be able to on how I can revise, on how maybe to cope up with different subjects and how to answer those questions. And I remember something in particular that I remember in being in primary was that particular moment in class 4, first term. I was able to do some assignments, and when I took it to the teacher, his name was Mr. Moneki. What he told me was that you have a bright future. You have a bright future. He literally looked at me and told me, you have a bright future. And it's just with that one compliment, when I walked out of that staff room, I felt someone cares.
Someone believes.
Someone believes in me. So I felt it upon myself that I needed to carry that all the way. So that's why until today I remember there's that teacher, Mr. Maneki, and he told me that your future will be great. So yeah,
that's how far simple words can take a person, because they give you that sense of confidence. And I can imagine, perhaps he does not know the value of the words he said. Perhaps he does not even remember. But you on the receiving end, you remember because they meant so much to you.
They carried a lot of weight, by the way.
Yeah.
And after class 4, when I did that exam, I remember emerging position 1 across in class 4.
Yeah.
And all the way, I carried that beauty of someone believes in me, not only at home but even in school. And I was able to carry it all the way from class 4 to class 8.
Yes.
And in particular, as well, in primary school, that was where I was able to build, as I said earlier, my social life and also my leadership skills. Funny enough, leaders back in primary in Baraka Boys, that was when the leaders were usually chosen or rather appointed when as early as class 6. So I thought that maybe in class 6 I'd have a place in the leadership position in the school, but I missed out. Well, a friend of mine was able to get to being the deputy school captain or school president at that point.
How did that make you feel?
I felt jealous. I was really envious, and I started. Okay, at the moment I had that particular grudge of, you teachers are my friends, so why are you intellecting me? You betrayed us. So I lived with it, and getting to class 7 as well, I thought that I'd get that leadership position. But my friend also who was later on promoted to becoming the president of the school.
Yes.
So that was when my jealousy shot up to 100%, and I just felt jealous. But anyways, it is what it is. Yeah, it happened.
And how did you learn to accept it? Because, again, you said you carried on the good performance on the way to Baraka Boys. And would also like to know, where did you go after high school, after primary school? Now, seeing your friend getting that and you wanted it, did it affect you in your performance? Did it do anything to you? Or
Actually, having my one of my friends being promoted to being the president of the school, I just had to ensure that my performance as well doesn't deteriorate at all.
Yeah.
So it never had any impact on my performance. It never had any impact on our friendship. So I guess I was able to learn some bit of emotional intelligence at that time, because maybe you can't just have a grudge with someone out of something that maybe wasn't meant for you. And I just had to learn to live with it. I didn't live with it. I learned how to live with it. So, but a few months later, I felt that maybe the school wasn't, in terms of entertainment, wasn't being promoted well, or there was nobody in particular to represent that particular place. So, after a few talks with the deputy teacher, the following Monday, I was chosen to be the entertainment prefect, on which no one ever accepts. When I tell someone that in primary I was an entertainment prefect, no one believes, no one at all.
It's the demeanor you give. I mean, nobody can picture you.
Guys,
Control it.
I was an entertainment prefect. I actually at that time we didn't have maybe that set for being the DJ, but I was the one who used to choose movies for people to watch. And funny enough, we used to watch those DJ Afro movies on Saturday nights, so that they will keep us hyped. So, and hearing DJ Afro and this everything, that we just used to burst out laughing. So I was the one in charge of handling all the cables and following up with the entertainment teacher.
Yes.
So
how are you deciding which movie they're going to watch? Did you, when you guys went for holidays, did you just keep on watching so many movies so that you'll have others to recommend when you go back to school? Or how did you choose?
Actually, it was the teacher who used to choose for us. So maybe he'd have one compact disc for a lot of movies. And
Remember that?
Being the school, on that Saturday night, you will just choose whichever movie you want to watch. So that was it. So from class 7 to class 8, I was entertainment prefect, and I'm very proud of it.
It's nice.
So I tell people at some point I was entertainment prefect, and now they try to imagine me being in high school, being part of anywhere, being near entertainment. They can't believe. But yes.
What's good? I'm also doubting of it.
You're the
I should see one, but again, I think you've allowed us to see the boy you. Mark, who was a boy. Mark, who got to experience a friendship.
Yeah.
Mark, who was affectionate. Mark, who believed in words of a teacher and pushed him through.
Yeah.
Mark, who did not get distracted.
Just a little bit about primary. One small detail. So I was talking of Collins in nursery school. So after he parted ways, when I got into Baraka Boys in class 4, that's the British accent.
Oh, okay.
When I got into class 4,
Yes.
later on in class 6, Collins joined that school out of nowhere. So
Reunite.
I was just passing by, then I saw this face, and so this face is quite familiar. So then I knew that was Collins. And from there, after class 6, he stayed for only that year, then he left. So we were separated again. But out of that moment of reuniting us, or that moment of reunion, who knew that after class 8 we would eventually meet again?
Before we go there after class 8. So again, you have allowed us to meet the younger you. Would like to know, who is the teenage Mark Okere? Did he continue being the entertainment prefect? And again, which high school did you continue performing with, of course? And did you continue making good friends?
So in class 4, something that I really regret until to date, and something that built my emotional intelligence on how I can be able to live with certain emotions, how I can be able to express different emotions. In class 4, I think people can, I think it's something that it really felt, it was inhumane of me.
What happened?
I found, so when I got into class 4, my friend who was the president when I was promoted to be the president, we were reunited with a friend of mine who we were also learning back in St. Francis, back in nursery. So we used to have maybe silent fight to feel on who is whether the best friend of my other friend. He was called Innocent. So between my friend and I, we would have these silent fights on who
is the favorite?
Yes. And who is the best friend of Innocent.
Yeah.
So later on, after that first time in class 4, I get back to school, opening of the second term, and I hear that that the guy has left the school. So I wonder why. So I then approach a friend of mine, and he tells me this is why he left. It was because of you. So when I heard it was because of you, I think those silent fights, I think maybe he wasn't able to live with those silent fights. And I think that's what pushed him to maybe leave the school. So I really felt
You shouldn't do that.
Yes.
Did you ever engage in those silent fights again?
I engage with the silent fights with a lot of
Even today?
Even today. But they're not out of hand. They don't get out of hand.
Okay.
So and at times I always take it upon myself to be the bigger man when maybe I find those silent fights. So maybe and express. So that's why I was able to build that part of the emotional intelligence, so that when I be able to maybe get those silent fights between anyone, between me and someone else, between me and family, I get with the bigger man and express those emotions that maybe, hey, you maybe you did me wrong here. It wasn't right of you.
Now that you're talking about friendship and silent fights, have you ever been petty with a friend, and to what extent?
Interesting. Interesting. Petty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at some point I have been a bit petty. I've been petty with a few people.
Right.
I'm just trying to think of a scenario when I was petty with friends.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. I mean, if you can engage in silent fights, you have been petty. Not that. I mean, you have been more. You have engaged in other things.
I think that was the worst. I think that was the worst point in time when I was that petty. Yes.
Okay.
I can't think of any other scenario when I was in that state. But I think that was the worst. That was one that hit me hard.
Okay.
Yeah. And from that point, I really keep on insisting on my emotional intelligence, and every time as I walk, not engaging in maybe unnecessary fights with people. So, yeah.
Okay.
Peace.
All right. Having known you for that bit, I would like to ask, if you were an animal, which animal would you be?
If I want anyone.
Yes.
Actually, I've been thinking of that. I asked you the same question in the previous podcast.
Yes, and I had to draw it back because I thought about it. So tell us.
So I've been brainstorming a lot about that question.
Okay.
And every time I will think of that question, I will think of one. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Humor me. I don't know why. That's an apple. But that's not what I want. That's not the animal I want.
I was about to ask what's the motivation behind atoms.
They're really tiny, by the way. They're very minute.
You're not tiny, Mark.
I know.
Is it?
But if it be an animal, I think I'd be a wolf.
Alright, why?
Because I think over the years that I've lived in my life, not many, but for the moment that I've lived, I think I've been able to yes.
Sorry.
I've been able to stand out. And maybe that bit of standing out has made me walk into places I haven't explored, into places I'd never think I'd get, out of just being unique and just being myself. It makes me stand out. Be it in terms of emotions, in terms of everything, I've been able to stand out where even when it comes to challenges, I'm able to rise up to the task. So I think that makes me, I usually take it upon myself that I'm an alpha.
An alpha male.
Yes, I'm an alpha male, everybody. Yeah, so it, so I think, yeah, if I were to be an animal, I'd be a wolf.
Right, Alpha. Tell us now about high school. And now we're done with primary. We already became a prefect, what we wanted. Did we go to the school that we wanted to?
Yes. Also, I performed well in my final exams in primary school. And that was my golden ticket to the prestigious school. And I'm telling you, if you walk around and ask people
Yes.
who are from that school, they will proudly say they are from that school. Yes. So I went to Mang'u High School.
All right.
Yes. So if you ask anyone from Mang'u High School,
Yes.
which school were you in? Those are the
Shouting.
Yes. Those are the those people walk with the ego. It's good ego, by the way. Yes, I was in Mang'u High School. Yes, I was in Mang'u High School. I got into Mang'u High School.
Okay.
But actually, the point of transition from class 8 to Form 1 was rather rough. I had some bit of challenges in getting into high school.
Yes.
And I remember at that point, that was rock bottom for me. It was rock bottom because my mom was there. She was unable maybe to raise the amount of fees for me to join high school. My late grandfather also chipped in. So it was hard at that time. That was around 3 weeks, or rather 2 weeks before I fully joined the school. And I'm grateful that at that point of challenge, at that point of despair, my mom was able to approach a blessing at that point.
Before that, in that moment, that rock bottom moment, what kept you going? What kept you hopeful?
I remember I cried. I cried because I thought things would be better, and bearing in mind maybe family issues and everything. So I thought things would be better, but I usually held on to the fact that along the way, who knows where blessings will come. That even though the door is closed, a window of hope will a window of hope will open.
Yes, what is it?
Yeah, so, and I really felt bad. And so, at that point, when I realized that I may not be able to get into school, I locked myself in the house. Locked myself in the house. I slept. I think maybe it was a depression that I never knew. But yes, but when, in one night, when my mom came and told me, I've made this gentleman, tomorrow get ready, you are going to Kikuyu and everything.
Yeah.
I saw the glimpse of happiness in my mom's eyes, and I knew things would be better. So I guess that I really carry hope within myself. I really carry hope for my future ambitions, hope for my present, hope for the people around me. So I think that's something that keeps me going a lot. That even when times get hard for me, I usually assure myself that there's always hope.
To get better.
That even when I'm broke.
You had to involve money in this.
Hallelujah. that even when I'm broke, I will always have hope that money go follow me. Yes. That was on a light note, by the way. But yeah, so on that night when my mom came, the following day, we were on our way to Kikuyu.
Yes.
And that was where let's call it a strange blessing. A stranger was a blessing. So I find this guy who I'm able to narrate the ordeal on how and why I'm unable to join high school. And he tells me, don't worry. He tells Mama Mark, don't worry. Okay. He tells, it's okay. All will be well. So, a few days later,
Yes.
or rather a few days later, on Friday, in January of 2018.
Wow, you even remember the date and the day.
Let me tell you even the time. The time was 3 p.m. Between 3 p.m. and 3:10 p.m. That was where I got to a certain petrol station. That was where I was to wait for, by name, Mr. Ndongo Nyara, HSC, team leader of Affective Foundation. That was where we met. That was where he was able to, I was able to board his car, everything fully packed, having a mattress, having a box and everything.
All necessities
for me to be comfortable in school.
Yeah.
At 3 p.m. I was ready for Mang'u High School. So I got into the school an hour later, and I was welcomed into the school. When I got to the school, I was like, the first building I saw was the amphitheater. I'm like, is this a school or is this university? Is this a high school or university? So I couldn't believe.
Yeah.
I was walking on a Maram road. Yeah, no, sorry, tarmac road, on a tarmac road. While all the while in primary school, when immediately I entered, was a Maram road. So before I even got into class, my shoes were completely dusty. So I get into Mang'u High School, and all the way, even until to the dorm, my shoes are still sparkling. They're still shining. So yes,
heaven for you.
So when someone asked me, which school were you in? I said, yes, I was in normal high school.
Okay.
So
I think we should name this episode Back from Mang'u High School.
Yes.
Now you're in Mang'u High School. Before, Mr. Mwaneki is the one who gave me the words to push through primary.
Yeah.
Now you're in high school, the great Mang'u High School. What pushed you through? And who was Mark in high school?
In high school.
Yes.
So, briefly, my motivation was my late grandfather. So when I joined the school, he told my mom, this guy is bound for great things. And I carried that all the way to high school. And still on that day, Mr. Ndongo Nyoro, he told me, go there and make yourself proud. He didn't tell me to go and make him proud. Not to go and make my mom proud. He told me to go and make myself proud. So that at any point that I missed on anything, at any time where I failed, that was on me. So I carried that every time that in my performance in extracurricular activities, that I ought to make myself proud. And my grandfather also really played a big part in being my motivation, because even when I went to visit him back in his place, he will tell my mom that this guy, you see this guy, he's born for great things. He's born to do great things.
Yeah.
And I believe so that even today, that whatever I'm doing, wherever I walk, I am bound to do great things. Sure. So that was just my part of it in getting into high school. So in high school, just briefly, some of the beautiful moments that I remember. In Form 1, I remember there was we were doing a certain exam, a certain geography exam, and after the marking and everything was done, when we got our results, I had 100% in geography.
Yeah.
So everyone across the block,
Nice.
was like, there's someone who has gotten 100%. Who is that? So yes, I got 100%.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it was that the teacher who was teaching the subject, never in her life had she taught a class where someone got 100%. So I'm proud of myself.
You should be.
I should.
Yeah.
From that point on, all the way to Form 4, everyone knew that I was a geography guru. But also, in my mind, what I knew was that I'm not the only one. Because even when I scored an 80, there was someone else who scored a 90. Which hurt. So I would always make sure that in every paper that I do, I will perform better in geography. So that was the beauty in Form 1. In Form 2, leadership.
Do you want it? Then you did not get it, or what happened?
It's still the same scenario. I wanted to become a captain in Form 2.
Yes.
In the school. I missed out. I don't know why I missed out. I guess maybe it was because of the performance. I really can't remember, but I never got the position. Getting to Form 3, I missed out. Remember in Form 2, it's junior captain, so you are appointed to be head of the dorms and everything. In Form 2, in Apanda League, that's when you get some kind of promotion. There's the sports captain, there's library, there's everything, there's the school president. I missed out on all of that. And this time it really stung. And I had to learn to live with it.
How did you do that? What techniques?
I tell myself, it's okay. I really can't say how I learned to live with it, but I just had to cope up.
Okay.
I had to swallow that bitter pill, that jealous pill, that the person seated next to me or the person seated in front of me. Actually, the person seated in front of me is our captain. So I swallowed that pill, and I said, my friend, now you're getting all the bread, you're getting everything now, my friend.
You was thinking about bread.
I was not thinking about bread. I was thinking about the advantages of being a captain.
Okay.
And the opportunity of getting to new people.
All right.
But all the while, I was a leader in my own position.
Yes.
Just being a normal team, I was a leader. So, and also that's thanks to Affecto for the leadership, mentoring, the leadership nurturing.
Boss.
So, so I was a leader in my own stage.
That has reminded me of this book by Robin Schaas, The Leader Without a Title.
Yes.
The leader who had no title and leader
who had
no titles.
Yeah. Then get into 4-4, that's where the GC part of it is. Now, just a little bit about high school. In high school, people knew me in very many ways. The people who knew me for being a very great performer, not that great, but just a good performer.
Okay.
Number two, there are those people who knew me for being a great orator. And I am a good orator.
I can tell. Yes. I know.
I am a good orator.
Yeah.
Then there are people who knew me for what do we call these speakers?
Motivation.
Yes.
Motivational speakers.
Motivational speakers.
Okay.
I was good in motivation.
You still are.
I still am.
Yeah.
I hope so. Then, finally, there are these people who knew me for being... one day I woke up, and this is... So, what's this? Really used to be rebellious. And that was the after when, on Saturday night, we were having entertainment. So there was this fight between the Form 3s and the Form 2s. The Form 3s were in between.
Yeah.
So the Form 4s wanted to watch a game, and the Form 2s wanted a movie. The movie we wanted was Annabelle. I'm a big fan of horror movies, by the way. They really keep my blood running.
Once again, I don't understand you kind of carnival.
Yes.
But
Yes, we love horror movies. And I will invite you one day to watch a horror movie.
no. Pass.
So in Form 2, while there was that fight, we will shout for the Form 2s. We will shout to the Form 4s and tell them we want to watch this movie and everything. So for me, I really didn't want to either much to be seen. So I will get uko chini and I will just shout. I would shout a lot. Yeah, Form 4s and stuff like that. I will just shout just to be part of that team of the Form 2s who are shouting. And I will shout. And then I will stand up and be like, what's happening? Yeah, so and then I was also a great athlete. An athlete because when it came to watching to entertainment, we would end the preps at 9:15. So I would ensure that I'm the first one, or rather among the first people to get into the hall and book a seat for my class and for the people who have to me to book for them. So along the block, as we got out of class,
Yeah.
we would even tell the preacher who was preaching that day, Katisha, you're preaching, we will carry it to the following morning. So immediately the bell rang, we would bang the door and we would run. At that time, we didn't care what your life. We would just run. Whatever was motivating me was the system, was the beats of the music in the hall, and the fact that people will praise me afterwards. They were saying, "Hey, Kiri, I'm gonna be your man, according to you." So I just wanted to hear that. So that was in Form 1 and Form 2. Then in Form 3, I decided to relax a bit. I decided to put entertainment canon, but I will always get to watch the movies then. So that was those people who knew me for being rebellious. I don't know.
I mean, everyone gets a chance to experience different sides of you. If one is lucky to experience all sides, then
They're very lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky, by the way.
it must be very special.
Actually, there are some photos when we were in Form 4 before we were doing before we sat for our final exams in Form 4.
Okay.
We would psych ourselves up. So there are certain pictures where I was taken beating a bucket with a piece of wood with my tie strapped to my forehead. And I was just shouting, and yes, it will seem like it was a strike, but I was very excited at that point.
I think you live in the moment.
Yes.
I have gotten to know that because if one would tell me to point out an all-round person, I would point out Steve Wiggins' performance, games, people's person,
And I became a leader in Form 4. I became I became a leader in Form 4. I became a leader in Form 4.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it was that I introduced that post.
Again.
Yes.
Which
There was no entertainment prefect in primary school. Then getting into high school. Out of promoting the name of the school via charity, I was able to get promoted into the school leadership position and become the first utility captain. Utility in terms of, I used to ensure that I manage all the resources of the school in terms of water, in terms of electricity, everything. I would be second hand to each and every captain that was there, including the president himself. I hope he's not hearing this. So yes, so I became the first in that position, and
you've been a pioneer twice.
Yes.
In your leadership position. I feel like from all this, you're someone who should come up with solutions.
yes,
You add up from themselves and come up with solutions. And that explains the HE
part of it.
part of it.
Yes, I think it came out of the part H. It came out of the fact that I really wanted to become the president of the school, but I missed that spot. I told myself maybe that was not my portion. Maybe my portion was larger. So that is where I derived that dream from, and also the need to maybe rectify a few places here and there,
Sure.
finding solutions. So I guess that was where I picked up that name.
That's good. Now tell us about life post high school.
Like first high school.
And did you perform well
Yes, I performed
in
well.
campus?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, tell us more. Tell us
I
more about
performed
it.
well.
Yeah.
And joined Technical University of Kenya, pursuing civil engineering. Yeah, heading to second year. But a lot has happened all the while. And in that point, in my first year in university, I remember when I was in Form 1, I really played football. Apart from being the cheerleader, I used to cheer for my friends. I used to be neutral, cheer for each and every team, and I will shout. Then getting into Form 2 and Form 3, I remember playing football. We used to call it FC. Then I never played in Form 4 and part of Form 3. So when I came into Took, we were having games between Bachelor of Engineering and Bachelor of Technology and Civil Engineering. We had a game, and yes, I played football, and we lost. Unfortunately, but I swear on coming second year, we are ready.
You're winning.
Be prepared.
Yeah, I hope they're listening.
Yes, you guys, I hope you're listening. Yeah, so that I played. Apart from being in football, I'm also a great athlete. I'm a great runner.
So now you're not running in the hall
Yes.
to book seats. So where do you?
I don't run with intention.
You just.
If someone tells me let's race, I'll be ready. And I used to think that the aspect of being a great runner, when I was little, one shilling, just 1 cent, was very precious. At that time, you get a lot of sweets. So we used to run with my father. He will tell me let's race. So I used to admire having fitting shoes that really fit my feet, and we would run. At that time,
With your father.
yes,
Such.
we used to run. He's a fast person, so we used to be this close. If he would defeat me, I will almost reach him with just a small difference. And he used to give it his all. Not that because I'm a child he will maybe be lenient or something, but he would give it his all. And at the same time, I was very pushed to give it my all. So I guess that's where also being that aspect of wolf, being the alpha wolf, came out, because give it your all. That's why I give it my all. In leadership, in everything, in standing out.
In entertainment.
Yes, in entertainment. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
All of them all. Yes, I will stand out. I will give it my all. So nowadays, instead of maybe wearing the shoes, I take them off.
Interesting.
I like the grip of the ground.
What if a thorn
I have faced
injures you or something, or a stone?
Yes, I have stepped on a lot of stones, by the way.
Or
Actually,
glass?
today I was running with my uncles. I defeated them all. I hope they're listening.
Peace.
They will listen.
Peace.
Yeah, so apart from running, I'm also a great swimmer. Still practicing.
Diane.
Yes,
Yeah, we saw that in Diane.
I'm a great swimmer. And I hope one day be in the Olympics or
I
something.
think you should.
I try.
You're also a good tutor, by the way.
I'll try running and swimming, by the way. Yes, I'm a great swimmer. Yeah, so the campus was fine, and I performed well, helped a few friends of mine here and there, and let me just say this.
Please.
Best memory I had in my first year in Tuk was when we went out with my friends and had a few drinks here and then. Not a lot. For me, not a lot. Just
Yeah.
a portion. Just some. A good amount.
Safe amount.
A safe amount. Yes.
Safe amount.
Yes. Thank you. A safe amount.
Safe amount.
Yes. So I think that was the beauty of it, and I think I can say I'm also in a leadership position in the school. I'm hoping to progress, and who knows, maybe in the future, I really hope to get the title H. Right now, it's imaginative.
Manifesting.
It's a manifest.
You can manifest.
Yes,
You
it's a
manifest.
manifest. Yes.
I fingers crossed. I also hope you do get it,
Yeah.
because if you get it, we'll also get it. Yeah. And what should you expect from it? What should you expect from the over 25-year-old mark, 30-year-old mark? Because you have shared your journey
Yeah.
now.
What I can say over the months that I've said is, don't let any part of your life pass you. Whatever point in life you're in, live in the moment. Have a positive social life, because people need people.
For sure.
People do need people. And people are of different kind. So you pick different aspects from different people, you learn from them, and you learn how to live with them. So, I find people maybe separating people, or rather, something like that. But I don't think that's the right way to go. I feel we are all one. So, apart from living in the moment, just have a beautiful social life that will push you to the future, and also cherish family. My family, it's something that I've carried on from the past till to date. I really cherish family. And if I were 50 years old, let me tell you, if I were 50
You do, yeah.
if I were 50 years old right now, I would ensure I live the life that I fantasize right now. The amount of the kind of living I imagine being 19, I want to ensure that when I'm 50, I live that life, having a beautiful wife. For starters, beautiful wife, children, a good Mercedes car, Mercedes
A
car.
specific
Yes.
Mercedes car.
Yes.
Okay.
And a beautiful house. And
Anyone has a Mercedes that he wants to dispose? Mark is here.
I will do the repairs and everything. Yeah, but I think that's also something. Power in words. Power in words.
Sure.
Never know the when or the how. But
You just possess.
yes.
I mean,
You confess
you confess and
possess.
possess. Yeah.
So I think that's the beauty of the life
Yeah.
of Mark Mang'u.
Mark.
Yeah, and I really hope that life will be good from here.
It will.
Yeah,
I am certain.
I will
No?
carry a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Apart, beside being a bit pessimistic here, I'm also I'm a bit pessimistic.
But isn't that life? At some point, you can't hinder the negative thoughts.
Yeah.
You really have to have them. They just come.
Yes.
And again, the positive ones. Sometimes you stay hopeful even when things don't seem as if they're going to work out.
Yeah.
That's the optimist side. And that's life.
Yeah, that's
We
like
get to live. We get to live. We get to
relate.
relate.
Learn.
Yeah, and that's. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode. I hope you have learned more about Mark. Perhaps there's something I also need to know a bit. I know you've also listened, so please share in the comments of what else you think you should clarify and talk about. But generally, I hope you know who we are. Now you know who Alice is and you know who Mark is.
Yeah.
And together, we hope we can relate. Hope we can learn together and definitely laugh together. Until next time, bye.